Well, this past Friday night was the big Disney Entertainment, Disney Pictures presentation from Anaheim at D23. Now, it bears saying again, they started doing something a couple of years ago that Comic-Con desperately needs to take note of and do, because they have been stubborn fucking idiots with their thumbs up their asses, continuing to do their big presentations in Hall H, which can literally only hold 6,000 people, causing massive problems for everybody. But I won't go into that whole rant again. But again, a couple of years ago, Disney moved their big presentation at D23 out of the Anaheim Convention Center and into the arena where the Anaheim Mighty Ducks play hockey, into the Honda Center, which can hold like 20,000 people. And listen, I may think Disney are a bunch of incompetent boobs when it comes into putting on their live events, but credit where it's due. Those presentations that they put on in Honda Center are excellent. They do a great job. And this year was no exception, as they did a banger of a presentation again. Banger of a presentation. Full marks. Tip of the hat. Whatever kind of saying you want to throw at it, they did a great job. And a number of things came out of that I think were absolute highlights. And I thought, instead of going through, because this happened Friday night, it was several days ago, there's no point in us doing a full thing about, let's talk about Indy Navarrete being cast as Rogue. Let's talk about Adam Driver being cast as Mr. Sinister. Let's talk about the Vision Quest trailer. Instead of doing those, because again, it was several days ago that happened, I thought we would take a minute here, guys, and talk about what was our favorite highlights coming out of it. And I'll just say my 5 right out of the gate. It was, in no particular order, it was the Avengers Doomsday trailer. It was the Vision Quest trailer. It was the Indy Navarrete as Rogue. It was Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. And this one's going to surprise you. I really like that Ahsoka season 2 trailer. I really do.
Wow.
I don't like Ahsoka. I thought season 1 was a fart in the wind. Not the worst thing I'd ever seen, but just pretty much a nothing burger. Big nothing burger. I gotta say, I really did, and I'm shocked. I'm as shocked as anybody. I really like the Ahsoka trailer. We can go more into some of the details here in a second, but Rob, Jonathan and I were doing the live stream, but you weren't with us because you were en route doing between different things. What were going just quickly off the top of your head, what to you were the best highlights from that particular presentation that they did?
Well, I liked everything that you said, but I liked them official. And those are the things I was most interested in. And the Ahsoka trailer was surprisingly better than I thought, but I love the fact that we're getting a Coco too. And they gave us a sense that he's grown up a little bit.
Yep.
And I loved hearing that we were going to get that. But this is going to seem strange because it wasn't necessarily a part of the Friday presentation. But the thing that I love Disneyland. I've loved Disneyland since I first went back in the 70s. And they announced at D23 what they're doing with the Rivers of America.
Right, but we're talking about what came out of that presentation, not the overall D23.
Right, but I just had to say that because I'm very excited what they're doing with the whole land there. It's insane what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, other than Coco 2, all of mine echo because I didn't see the whole thing. I was busy and then I was coming back, so I saw the latter half of the presentations. Right. So, I'd seen Coco 2 because that was like at the beginning. And then it was the latter half. You were with Christian for I saw a few things, then he was gone. But I mean, all of this, look, I wasn't in Hall H, so I didn't see the Doomsday trailer. I love the Doomsday trailer. I love seeing Reed get very angry. The X-Men cast is great, just like we thought it was, and I like seeing Kevin Feige get up and do the presentation. I like Feige. I like seeing him, because to me, he's he's perhaps the greatest nerd made good in history. He was a PA working for Richard Donner. And I relate to that because I was a PA working on Free Willy, which was a Richard Donner movie. I think it was before Feige's time, but I just liked seeing it. He always has such sort of a boyish enthusiasm when he gets up to announce these things, and he clearly had a lot to smile about. So it was just nice to see all of it and how positive it all was. That and everybody seems to be excited to be there. And I have to say, the video of Adam Driver at Pinewood was pretty funny.
Oh, that was great.
And then when he introduced himself as
Magneto, no.
When he said Milbury is such a deep cut.
Yeah,
right.
That I'm sure the
for those
audience
who
is
don't
like,
know,
wait.
Milbury is one of Nathaniel Essex's. I'm
Essex.
tripping over my tongue. Essex's aliases
And I
in
just
one
thought
of
it
the
was
storylines. Yeah,
But it was ballsy of them to do that because the audience is like, wait, what?
yep.
Mhm.
So it was. I like that too.
But some people I already saw ask me in the live chat, John, like Ahsoka over the Starfighter trailer. I'm gonna give. First of all, I loved the Starfighter trailer, and a big thank you to everybody in the live chat who sent it to me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's really good. It's really great, but it's mostly exactly what you would think about a trailer. Any sort of a trailer they release right now is. It's just a bunch of little segments. It's about a
Really
video
short.
package. Yeah, it's really short. You do get some Ryan Gosling dialogue in there talking about the Starfighter. Like he mentions in it, this kid says, "What ship is this?" And he says, "It's a retired or a decommissioned Imperial blah, 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 blah. Fastest Starfighter ever made." And then you see a bunch of sweeping shots. So it was really good for a first little teaser, but the Ahsoka, and it was great. I loved it. I cannot wait to see this movie. I think it's going to be fantastic. But the Ahsoka trailer, which honestly, I don't think the show is going to be very good. I don't think season 2 is going to be very good because season 1 wasn't very good, but credit where it's due. I thought that Ahsoka trailer gave it epic scope. It showed it was a big swing for a first trailer. For a first trailer, it was a big swing, and I have to give credit where credit is due. I thought they really killed it. Let's talk for a second here about the casting, since we haven't done that yet on the show. Let's talk about Indy Navarrete. So we, of course, got suspicious that she was going to be cast because we heard officially that she had met with Jake Schreier, the director of X-Men. And then, of course, as the stream was going on, Jonathan, you pointed out, hey, there are official reports coming out now saying Indy Navarrete on the step and repeat, and Indy Navarrete is in the building. Yeah.
They started posting pictures. I'm like, come on, if she's there at the step and repeat. It's
yeah,
on.
if she's there, she's going to be announced as in the X-Men. I did not have Rogue on my bingo card, but God, if I don't love the casting. She's awesome. She's got all the range in the world. I think she's going to be an absolute killer Rogue. And, you know, as far as the Adam Driver thing goes, you know, when those first reports came out that Adam Driver may be playing Magneto, a lot of people said, hey, great. He's going to be a great Magneto. He's a fantastic actor. But, man, I could really see him as Mr. Sinister. Like, a lot of people were saying that. And then as it turns out, we have him as Mr. Sinister. So Rob, like, let's talk about those two things for a second. First of all, the casting of Indy Navarrete, the casting of Adam Driver. What did you think about those?
Well, I thought they were great. You know, I mean, it's so weird to me when somebody has the kind of breakthrough performance that Indy Navarrete had in Obsession, she gets a new job. You know, she's clearly she was part of the reason it became Obsession became one of the most successful independent movies ever made. And she did a great, I mean, in her ability, I think she was really what sold them on her was her ability to change it up so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Like in one scene, you know, and you could see Rogue to go from that sort of Southern belle persona into somebody that's really, I mean, remember, she was a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants when she was first introduced. You know, she took Carol Danvers' power away in Avengers Annual 10. And I could see her playing it up that way. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they played a little bit of that famous storyline out in the movie. But I mean, obviously she's, I think, a great choice for Rogue. I think a better choice. I liked Anna Paquin as Rogue, but I think Anna Paquin was more of a subdued, sweet Rogue. I think Indy Navarrete will bring the sass.
Yeah, a little bit of a saucy Rogue. Yeah,
that's what we need. And of course, Adam Driver. I was hoping that it would be Mr. Sinister that he would play, because I think he wasn't right for Magneto, but for Mr. Sinister, absolutely. And already, whether it's Boss Logic's art or everyone else's artwork, like you've got on the thumbnail of the show, you know, I think he's going to be a great Mr. Sinister.
Oh, listen. I think he's such a good actor that even if he had been Magneto, I was totally down. I was absolutely down for him playing Magneto. You know, inevitably though, look, let's call what it is. No matter who they announced as Rogue, there would be a whole bunch of people that would hate the casting, no matter who. Like they could have cast Odessa Zion, they could have cast Kylie Spaney or whatever, and there would have been a bunch of people that hated it. And sure enough, predictably, there are a bunch of people that hate the Indy Navarrete. But I just don't understand, because there are still some people. I got into this debate with somebody, and it was, you know, Indy Navarrete's only like 5'1". Rogue's supposed to be taller. This is terrible casting. I'm like, find me one person on the street who can tell you how tall Rogue is supposed to be.
It's so exasperating.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares how tall Rogue is. And I said this, look, when talking about a physical difference between a character in its original source material and how you portray it on screen, you always have to ask the question, is that physical characteristic a part of the story, or is that physical characteristic just a part of the description? Because if a physical characteristic is only a part of the description and has no impact on the story, then who cares? I gave the example the other day of Harry Potter's little lightning-shaped scar in his head, right? That is a part of his description. But as you go through Harry Potter, it also plays a role in the story about how people respond to him in the world, how people identify him, all that kind. It's a part of the story, not just a part of the description. Rob, you know as well as I do, Rogue's height has never been a part of the story. Nobody cares. And then I get this other guy trying to, well, she doesn't sound like Rogue. First of all, nobody knows what Rogue sounds like, because Rogue is on a comic book page.
I hear colors.
Yeah.
I hear colors on a comic book page.
It's like you hear a voice that you made up in your head. That's like, so don't tell me that's what Rogue sounds like.
They got voices in their head.
Now, and if you're going by X-Men 97, dude, that is a 66-year-old Canadian good Canadian kid, but that is literally a 66-year-old actress doing the voice of Rogue. Come on, darling, go and fetch me my walker. I mean,
boy, that throws me off.
I love that fact that it's the original woman who does the voice from the original X-Men animated series. But I mean, she sounds every bit of, again, great Canadian actress, but she sounds like she's 66 years old. So don't tell me you're worried about what Rogue sounds. Look, Indy Navarrete's a great actress. She's going to pull it off. She's going to make it great. And yeah, I just can't. Now, if you've got other issues with Indy Navarrete playing the role, I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, casting is a very personal thing. I totally get it. I just think it's ridiculous if the thing you've got against it is she's not tall enough, or she doesn't sound like this 66-year-old woman I hear playing a 21-year-old Rogue.
I gotta laugh at that. I had it like in my head canon, like it would have been someone like Margaret Qualley from The Substance as Rogue.
Yeah, she could have been great too.
And maybe she'll still work with Marvel at some point. Maybe she has no interest. I don't know. That's just who I had. But when I heard this, I was just equally as excited or intrigued. You know, I think the person that I'm most intrigued about, because I know very little and I didn't see him as Professor X, was Christopher Abbott. I mean, I don't know if we'll get to him later.
Yeah, we found out about that well before D23. Yeah. But yeah, that one surprised me a bit too. Yeah,
his performance, how it's going to translate. So,
I mean, well, yeah, but look. He's a fine actor. I've only seen a couple of his things, but he's always been really good in everything I've seen him in. So there's that. And as far as the Adam Driver thing, I'm just with Rob. I think That's astounding. Let's just take a second though. Let's take a second before we end this segment and talk about that Doomsday trailer. Now, of course, it's the one they released at Comic-Con, but they didn't put it out for the world to see. And you know what? I had somebody tell me this to confirm it. They were never planning on releasing it online. But the response it got, because remember they said at Comic-Con, this is exclusive for Comic-Con only. And they released it there, but the response it got, I think they realized they had something really, really special there. And they decided to show it at D23 and then decided to put it up online for the world. So everybody's seen it now. We said it with the bootlegs, but we'll say it again. This trailer's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything, like they've set the framework perfectly. You never had to have seen Dr. Doom before or know anything about Dr. Doom to really feel him as the antagonist for this film. Starting right off with Sue going, Victor was always the smartest guy in the room. He was brilliant. He was kind. And then everything was taken away from him. Like they set they do all the groundwork. They lay the foundation of everything. And then he lost everything. And that, again, that whole thing about Reed games, did you do this, Victor? Did you do this? Like I thought was awesome. And then of course the Thor interaction with him, like hell answers, like, come on, how do you come up with a more Victor Von Doom line than hell answers to me? Come
Thor
on.
Can't catch a break.
Like poor Thor constantly running into
Can't catch a break.
biggest of the big. Anyway, Rob, you've now got to see it in its full HD glory and everything.
Many times.
What did you think about that Doomsday trailer?
I loved it. I mean, what's not to love as an old school comic book fan? You get the monologuing. I love Downey's voice. I love seeing all these characters interact, and I love it. Finally, look, I'm gonna admit something about Pedro Pascal that I think Pedro Pascal was so great on Game of Thrones, and I really liked him in The Equalizer 2. Who's kind of a villain,
it turns out to be the bad guy.
I felt he's been a little flat in a lot of things, and I thought he was a little flat as Reed Richards. So in this trailer,
I'm going to disagree with you on that, but that's fine. That's fine. We disagree on that, but please continue.
He was good. He was good as Reed Richards, but I wanted to see more. Anyway, I got that from him in this trailer. When he's screaming at Doom, I'm like, that's Reed Richards. That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody that can take it over the top if necessary. And he
got
did
some of that Game of Thrones Viper out of him.
Yeah, loved it. I loved it. That's what I wanted, and that's what I wanted to see. And I think this is a good trailer. And what I also loved about it is they barely touch on the stuff that happens in this movie. They don't even get into all the.
It's really just more of the scene we already saw in the last trailer. If you think about it, it's just different angles.
Just a few extra seconds here or there that we didn't get before. The Sue narration at the beginning, but yeah, they are showing us a very limited scope of what the film is in these trailers, which is really good.
That Sue narration reminded me of the Gamora narration for when she was talking about Thanos and the snap,
right?
And all of that.
Yeah,
kind of echoed that.
That's in there a little bit too. Again, and I just really feel like this is the one they should have let off with. I thought this is the one they should have let off with. Again, I like the other trailer. I like the other trailer a lot. I really do. But this is the one that kicks you in the ass. This is the one that really gets your attention. So
we're definitely getting a third.
Oh yeah. We're going to get, I think we're still 4 months away. We're going to get a couple of more big trailers, I think. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What were the big standout things for you coming out of that D23 presentation? Was it the Rogue casting? Was it the Vision? By the way, we didn't even talk about the Vision Quest trailer, which I thought was great. Was it the Star Wars Starfighter trailer? Was it the Adam Driver casting? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the conversation and let us know your thoughts.